Good morning, Canada. I'm your host, Jacob Burns, and this is the News Hour. The war to end all wars ended on November 11th, 1918. It was supposed to be the last and only war. Then, 21 years later, September 1st, 1939, was the start of yet another war. World War II was not inevitable, but it was the result of how leaders used their power in the name of peace to use as fire for a future war. At the end of World War I, many events took place. The four empires collapsed. Old countries were abolished and new ones were formed. Boundaries were redrawn. The Treaty of Versailles was created and signed. The Great Depression hit many different countries, crippling their economy, and the League of Nations was formed. One of the many reasons that led to the Second World War was in fact the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles was led by the US, France, and the United Kingdom, but Germany was excluded from the deal. The treaty forced Germany to take blame for World War I, giving up their overseas colonies, 13% of their European territory, limiting their army and navy, and pay huge reparations. The Treaty of Versailles created a huge burden on Germany, economically and financially. The treaty painted Germany as the enemy, and not only did they not have friends, but as well, no money and no protection. Hitler hated how this treaty had made Germany weak, and when he came into power in 1934, he began to violate many of the treaty terms. He refused to pay the reparations and began to build up the German armed forces. The treaty caused lingering resentment and humiliation for the people of Germany. This caused the German citizens to look for a national leader who would make Germany a world power again. Eventually, this led Germans to turn to the Nazi Party and Adolf Hitler. The treaty wrongfully enforced Germany to accept responsibility for the war, even though they believed that they did not start the war. The treaty was created because Germany was being told to take responsibility for the war and had to pay for all the damage when they were the only ones trying to protect themselves. The treaty was too harsh and had to be effective because 20 years later, Hitler used it to start World War II. Now, along with the treaty, the League of Nations was created as an international organization. Their mission was to help settle international disputes, promote international cooperation, and safeguard international peace and security. When Britain, France, and the USA met to form this group, Germany, once again, was excluded. I believe that if the countries had agreed to sign the 14 points instead of the Treaty of Versailles, World War II could have been avoided. The 14 points were created as a guideline for rebuilding a post-war world by Woodrow Wilson, President of the US. He wanted these points included in the peace settlements and did not think that Germany should be solely blamed for World War I. Germany had thought that these points would be included in the peace treaty, but they were not, and the Treaty of Versailles was drawn up and caused a huge burden on Germany. If the 14 points were followed, it would have led to less resentment in Germany. I think it would have also helped lessen the devastation of the Great Depression on Germany and other countries. Could World War II have been prevented or stopped? We don't know for sure, but that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in, and this is the News Hour with Jacob Burns. Good night, Canada.